I feel that. But yeah, we are live now. So,
Oh no.
Hi everybody.
Oh
no,
boy.
Oh.
I
Oh
think the
no.
first words that they heard were me saying we are live now. So it's all good.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We
nice.
are in fact live now.
We
Hey,
did
are
it.
you hear us?
Good job.
Or are you just saying what's up in chat?
No, I think he was responding to Masha, I think.
Correct.
And still, I just thought I'd ask.
Masha sent out the call, and the nerds have answered.
I did send out the call.
Eric, are your ears working? Did
No.
your ear replacement surgery go through?
Oh, stop.
Was it a success?
Do you have cat ears now?
Did they turn my sweet boy into a cat boy?
My boy, that's my boy.
Oh my boy.
I cannot ever hear that trumpet music from Goblet of Fire without thinking about that man's harrowing scream, and it's always like just like a little sad.
Wait, you did? I thought I donated my ears to him.
He's gonna come back with like 6 ears.
No way.
It's gonna, be like, it's gonna be like
He's
that one
collecting.
from Spy Kids.
What?
Dude, the monsters from Spy Kids.
The first Spy Kids movie, some guy I forget his name, and it sucks because Spy Kids is such a good movie, but he gets like his faces get like slammed together, and so he's got like a main head, but he's also has like all these other heads sticking out of him, and like the ears are connected and the noses are connected.
Is Spy Kids like a body horror movie?
Have you
The
not
first one
watched Spy
is.
Kids? Do we need to watch
No.
Spy Kids? Holy shit,
Look,
we
no,
gotta watch
Saul.
Spy Kids.
I was a Spy Kids aficionado. I'd seen them all, even the second one. It was odd because when I was growing up, they never aired the second one on Disney Channel. It would always be we're showing Spy Kids 1, and then we're showing Spy Kids 3.
Yeah.
And then at the end of Spy Kids 3, when Steve Buscemi shows up on a flying pig, I'm like, who is this guy?
Mars, we gotta watch Spy Kids because this is important. This is very important because also in Spy Kids
Apparently.
3, they get sucked into a video game, and Elijah Wood is the kid. I'm not gonna
No,
say
he's the
anything more on
guy.
that. No, yeah, that's right. He's the guy. And I can't tell you any more than
I'm
that. You gotta
the
watch
guy.
it yourself. Also, Sylvester Stallone is the president of the United States of America. And
well,
That's
So
real
is
life
George
actually.
Clooney.
That happened. So
yeah. Robert Rodriguez. I remember I actually met Robert Rodriguez once because he was holding a special airing or like showing of Spy Kids here in Austin. And for some reason we were in town, but we watched Spy Kids 1 and 2. And there's a terrible picture of me 12 years old with all my siblings crammed up next to Robert Rodriguez. And I look super embarrassed and I just hate being there. It's my one celebrity story, and I hate that that's the picture that's attached to it. Yes, correct. A crucial
Oh, I'm not playing music. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
my only celebrity story,
I'm a little frazzled.
I'm gonna tell it real quick
Yeah, go for it.
because the only real celebrities, like even though I go to conventions all the time, I don't usually like go to the celebrity panels or whatever. But I did go to one a local Comic-Con, and I met the actors who played Bulk and Skull in the original Power Rangers movie,
No way.
That's awesome.
and they were the coolest dude ever. Like they were just so funny and super cool, and like whatever you wanted them to do in their picture, they would do it. Like they were just so super cool. So, shout outs to them. They're cool.
I always love hearing that when celebrities are that chill. It's so
I met
good.
YouTuber Tyler Oakley one time.
No way.
That was fun.
How was that?
He was very short. That was
Poor
like
Tyler
all I
Oakley.
remember was it was like his book signing, and he came to a bookstore near us. And you know, I like walked up to him and got a picture with him, and the whole time I'm thinking, why is he so short?
Oh my gosh. There was a span of time when like every YouTuber was like, I need to make a book.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I think it is still a popular trend, but I think they're less like publicized as they have been. Now it's like Jake and Logan Paul being like, here's my how to become a YouTuber book, and it's just like try super hard.
Yeah. Speaking of you've reminded me of one more celebrity story, or at least one more celebrity that I've met, and that is internet meme sensation John Cena. Who?
Wait, how did you know that you met John Cena? If you can't see John
people
Cena.
told me about it.
Okay.
People told me about it. That people.
John Cena is like Totoro. Only certain children get
He's
to
like
see
the
him.
goblins
It's
from
true.
the Spiderwick Chronicles. John Cena has to spit in your eyes in order for you to see
Yeah,
John Cena.
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's what it is. But he was also like super cool. He was like at a book signing or whatever, but he stayed like 4 hours after he was supposed to leave just because the line was too long and he wanted to meet everybody. And it's like, that's actually really cool to me. So, and I've heard things about him anyway. He's always like super chill when it comes to the fans. So
For sure.
Anyway, yeah.
Hell yeah. That's dope. Speaking about being super chill with the fans, that's going to be our transition.
Yeah!
Hey, that's us. We're
We
super
love
chill.
you. We love you.
And you.
but not
You
you.
did a
But
good
the rest
job.
of you, yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to TurnTables RPG. We are an experimental tabletop RPG stream where every player GMs and every GM plays. We take turns at the end of every mystery, switching out the GM and telling a long-form improvised story. We're currently on the 16th episode of the 3rd season of Monster of the Week, technically our 5th mystery. If you'd like to check out the previous mysteries and kind of see what's going on, all of our VODs are currently on YouTube. Dustin, can you tell us a little bit more about where they can find us?
Yeah, I mean YouTube, as you just stated, that has all of our VODs from this season, last season, the season before that, the season in between. So in other words, Monster of the Week season 1 and 2, and our Uncharted World Return OE season, which is spacefaring, which is really cool. Our Tiny Tables content, which is little baby episodes that are really good. Little baby.
Take care of it.
Little
It's
baby. Yeah,
yours.
please take care of our baby.
I'm waiting for child support. Please
our
send
child.
help.
Yeah, follow us on social media at TurnTables RPG, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, as well as join our Discord channel, which should be in the chat. There's a link there. Just click that. Join us, and you can see us chat about all kinds of wild and crazy things, and show us your food. Please show us your food.
That's actually how we receive sustenance, is
It-
virtual pictures of food.
It's true. So please support us through Discord. And there are other ways that you can support us too, right? So
Yes, there are. Thank you, Dustin. I forgot that I'm directly after you.
I'm the meat in a sandwich with foul bread.
Correct.
In our announcement.
You're the best part, buddy. For those of you who don't know already, if you'd like to support the channel monetarily, if you're in that place, feel free to check out our Ko-fi. We actually did get a Ko-fi donation last week. It was by TurnTables, I think 42069, or TurnTables fan 42069. It was very generous. Thank you.
It's a real one.
Yeah, a real one. OG fan. And I'm not making that up. That is true. Very thankful for it. Thank you so much. On top of that, obviously, one of the best ways to support us is just to spread the word. Check out our stuff, share it with your friends. We do have a TikTok now, so there's like funny little clips on there that you can save and share to people. Yeah, just spreading the word and just being here. We really appreciate your support all the way. And all this money that it goes to, or the subscriptions that we get here on Twitch, all go to bettering the channel and putting stuff together for future stuff. And also, hopefully, maybe getting some more posters done for OE and seasons 2 and 3. Those are things that me and the producers have been
Posters for
talking
season
about.
2 compared to season 3. I don't know how much we could do that would be much different. I don't know.
I mean, it would be like the Fogwell Chronicles kind of story, kind of poster. And things of
I
that
feel like
nature.
we do season 3 first if we're gonna do posters, and then we retroactively go back. I don't know.
To me, it makes more sense to do OE because it's been waiting the longest. Plus, its 1-year anniversary is coming up in August.
Oh, I mean, I guess.
But
Can we do a stream just talking about OE on the OE anniversary?
We could.
I would
That
be
rhymed.
so fucking down for that.
But we could,
Get
for sure.
get Eric's agent on the phone. See if we can get that ear surgery expedited.
Yes,
Uh,
for sure. But yeah,
speaking of paying for
but-
Eric's ear surgery, may I say,
Thank you for continuing to support us. Go, Chris.
yes, if you would like to support us in any other way other than the ways that we've already mentioned, you could always do the old reliable of if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can connect it to your Twitch account and then get a free subscription to our Amazon or to our Twitch account by clicking the little subscribe button, and there should be a little checkbox that says subscribe with Prime, and you get it free if you properly connect your Amazon account to your Twitch account. You get it free. The money that you're spending already on Amazon Prime, just a little bit of that goes towards us instead of straight up to Mr. Jeff. And so, you get access to, you get to avoid ads if we ever run ads on stream. I do have access to that button. I can just start running ads, which would be a silly bit one time, actually, now that I'm thinking about
Don't
it.
do it,
Just
Chris.
spam ads and be like, only you Twitch Prime subscribers, you did it. You get access to my secret bits.
Because also Twitch
anyway,
just
but
runs
yeah, so you
ads in general.
So you can subscribe to Twitch Prime, get access to our emotes. It's cool. It's epic. It's very cool. Very big, very huge. And that's pretty much. I think that's everything I wanted to say. I feel like there was probably another bit in there I wanted to throw in, but you know me, a little bit of a airhead. Mars, please save me from this never-ending hell I find myself in.
Okay, to save you from this never-ending hell you find yourself in, I will talk about art. Art is an escape for us all. So pay artists, including Patrick Costa. He drew the amazing artwork that you see on the overlay, along with the full art designs you may have caught during the pre-stream. If you did not catch those designs during the pre-stream, they will play again during the break. You can follow him on Instagram and Twitter at PCInc_. That is where I end my sentence.
Thank you, Mars.
It's me now, right?
It's you. It's all you.
Yes.
It is. It's you, Masha. It's you.
It's me. Along with shouting out Patrick, we would like to also shout out the homebrew playbooks and creators that we have used now or in the past. Currently, I am playing The Tracker, a playbook by Mike Keck, and Saul last season was playing The Amnesiac by Jason Burns. You can find the respective links to these in chat, and you can also follow Jason Burns on Twitter at JabManB. Speaking of plugging other content creators, I'd love to hear a little bit more about what Saul has to say about the Hallowed Expanse.
Well, Masha, thank you for that amazing plug. In college, I did try out to be a news anchor, and I was much better at segues back then than I am now. But I can tell you right now that with the Hallowed Expanse, we're a D&D 5e charity stream. We stream on Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/Aurelia. Thank you, Chris, for putting up the link in chat. Right now, my Fushigi monk didn't wreck a library, but he was climbing a lot of shelves, and he got told on.
I thought you were gonna say he died.
No,
I was like,
no.
whoa.
No,
I missed one episode.
I'm having much too fun with him. He got scolded on by the newest member of the party for climbing on shelves. Sorry, he's so good at what he does. But he also found a very nice field of flowers to bring his friends to. I'm just telling you all that my character is doing. There's a lot of very fun things that are happening elsewhere in the story. But it's a lot of fun. I play with a tiefling monk who does fushigi, and he has a very strange Kiwi accent that I do much better than the British accent that Arthur is supposed to have in this show.
Can we get a demo?
Yeah,
Real quick.
His name's Rigel Darkstar, and the trigger phrase is Rigel, and he says his name in third person all the time, like Rigel, because that's how I keep the accent up.
That's fun. Rigel himself is the key phrase.
Correct.
That's a little voice acting, or
Yeah.
not even voice actors. Just if you're trying to do silly voices, that's a little tip for you. Find your key phrase.
It's voice tricking, really, is really what it boils down to. But please check us out. We're a lot of fun. I think we should be back this next Sunday, 1 p.m. Central, on twitch.tv/Aurelia. And I think we'll be back with a new charity, which I don't know yet. Ari hasn't told us. But
Oh.
it will be a lot of fun. With that in mind, and speaking of dope ass streaming channels, I'm gonna pass it off to Mars to tell us about something fucking cool.
I am doing a streaming thing for 2 more weeks. I am running a short campaign of Thirsty Sword Lesbians over on twitch.tv/ttrpg. You can, dude, it's going so well. Last night we had some really cool monologues from one of our players about being queer and being accepted, and like it is a lot more like I expected like a fun silly romp, but like there's some good moments in there of like good meat, good tabletop meat. So you can check that out Monday nights. We've done 2 episodes and we have 2 episodes left, so come. Each episode focuses on the backstory of one player. So next week you will see the backstory of our assistant coach, Coach Adonis, and then the week after, the backstory of everyone's favorite Rayler Swift. It's so good. The derby names are incredible.
Hell yeah.
Last night we had the NPCs named NPC, Strawberry Jam, and Smack Ops. So
I like Smack Ops.
yeah.
That's because they tagged yourself. I'm Smack Ops, but I guess I can't be, so I'll be NPC.
Dope. Thank you for plugging your tabletop RPG meet, Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I throw the
Meat.
meat. I throw it to Dustin.
I almost threw my fidget cube at my second monitor. Anyway, great for a bit. Just destroy a second monitor. It's fine.
Oh my god.
It slammed onto the table instead. Anyway, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Valley6. I play video games. Big shocker there, I know. It's a surprise to everybody. But yeah, I do stream. I actually started streaming a new game recently called Cassette Beasts, which is a very beautiful, cozy game.
What are those?
They are. It's a Pokemon-esque game, but instead of catching Pokemon in Pokeballs, you scan monsters with cassette tapes, and then you transform into those monsters using a Walkman.
What's that?
It's a thing that you use to listen to cassette tapes, which are these little things that used to
Back from
record
the olden
music
times.
before CDs. It is, yeah. It's actually really good. There's a lot of
how were
good
things
monsters.
when it was black and white?
Guys, I didn't grow up with cassette tapes. Okay, I was alive in CD times at least.
Well, so was
All
I.
Okay, so like I'm just saying, cassette tapes aren't what I grew up with as a kid. Anyway, yeah, it's actually really cool. It is just come watch and find out if you like it. Yeah, I have other things lined up, obviously, to stream in the future as well. Nintendo Direct is actually tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Oh yeah.
If I'm back in time for my appointment, I plan on streaming that live, my reaction to the Nintendo Direct. So if you're up at 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm so sorry. But also, yeah, I have not. Mars, you'll have to tell me about that.
I do have to tell you about that.
You do need to tell me about it.
I'm very excited about this game.
You'll
I'm
have
going to
tell
tell
me
you
about
about it right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm interrupting the stream to tell you about this wonderful game. It's a farming sim, but with dinosaurs.
Okay, stop. Where do I get it?
It's not out yet, but they just released the demo, but it's not for Mac, and so I can't play it, so I'm going to live vicariously through you by recommending you play the demo. It comes out September 23rd, but the demo is like 5 to 6 hours.
All right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and cue that up. Sorry, all right, and Speaking of demos, coming with his hot demo is Chris. I guess Chris.
Yeah,
Chris, you're a
I'm
musician
gonna
now.
read a whole chapter of Roy Troy for you, and that's the demo. And hopefully you want to buy that book at some point. But anyway, yeah, I am a young youthful artist. I'll never die. And so if you would like to support a young artist, you may pay me in so many ways. You can either pay me for your own original piece, or you can go to my TeePublic, Redbubble, or Imprint to buy various number of products with my pieces of art on them. I just uploaded a few new designs to TeePublic based off of some my 3 dream story ideas to develop. One of which is a little animated show called Petra Ex Machina, which you can get like the logo on the front and the poster on the back of a T-shirt. I'm actually writing the script for the pilot for my final of my screenwriting class, so I'm very excited about that. And so if you want a T-shirt, with that picture on the back and the logo on the front, or a picture of one of my other ideas with posters on the back of them, those are all new things you can get on my TeePublic. Or you can also buy the posters on Imprint, just the posters themselves, high quality. And then, of course, as I mentioned to begin with, out now, the 3rd book in my grandmother's series of books that I wrote, or that she wrote and I illustrated, called the Prime Time of Roy Troy. It came out. This is the actual copy. We have all 3 books. I already have the cover ready for the final book. It's exciting. She's an 85-year-old woman, math major, married to my reverend pastor of a grandfather. Grew up on a peanut farm with 2 brothers who were twins, and those are the inspiration for the squirrels, Roy Troy. And so if you want a story about 2 squirrels running around a forest and getting up to some antics, which is the name of the first book, you can see their adventures, second book, and then see the prime time of their life. And that's those are all the 3 books you can get. You can get them on Kindle and paperback on Amazon right now.
Indeed.
And that's me.
Hell yeah.
Mars, tell me
I
about the
speak
things
now.
I can pay money for you.
You can pay money to buy art.
We are so good at word.
Yes.
We're
I
efficient.
realized just now that I updated both my Etsy shop name and my link tree over the weekend. But so those are no longer the stuff. But I will find it and send it right now in chat while I vamp about the things you can buy, like earrings, or I forgot everything else, patches. Or prints. I'm also working on designing some stickers, including a wizard cat.
Cool.
Who's very good. So at some point you will be able to get those. The end.
Dope. I need to update that link tree. Cool. That's the end of the announcements. Usually this is around the part that we go into the positive affirmations, but like my cast told me before we started, we don't want to run late for time, so I will just go ahead and say that I very much appreciate these players and their time and their stories, and it has been an honor and a pleasure keeping for y'all, and I'm very excited for this session, and I'm very excited to see what Dustin does next. But I love you all, and we are going to go ahead and jump into a very quick recap before we jump into the intro, just to get everyone up to speed. Ren's dead. They're in the afterlife. Ren, as they were approaching a very peaceful afterlife, had found themselves kind of stuck along the way. by the power of Ma'at, their patron, the embodiment of order that fights Isfet, the embodiment of chaos. They have a very long conversation, or a very, tenuous conversation about what exactly the mission that Ma'at is keeping Ren alive for is. And after being very vague, Ren makes overtures about not being the champion of order anymore, because they want to live their own life and not have to worry about this extremely vague and large mission of keeping the balance. Ma'at promises them that they will learn to regret that decision, but before they make it, they have to speak with someone who's also lived with much, much regret. And they lead them to a campsite where Ren meets up with an old friend who the players know very well. In the land of the living, we come back and Cole's been beat to fuck by a bunch of the Pratts, and all because Jamie Foster is searching for Miss Merrill. For some reason, if you watched the intro for the mystery, you would know that he's pretty mad, and is searching for Miss Merrill and her location. However, Cole ain't no snitch, and he stuck it out. Didn't say no shit to nobody. But after receiving some would say a faded phone call, Jamie Foster left the locker room, only after Cole fucking beat the shit out of a shit ton of Pratts after giving into the seethe, and left them very, very injured, and almost hurt Boromir Stevens, who had betrayed him and kidnapped him and taken him to said locker room, for reasons that we found out are personal, that the Pratts are keeping their partner Aemir somewhere, and Boromir wants to find them. Farther along, back at the wreckage of the bomb that killed Ren, we find Fig, essentially kind of picking herself up back on her feet. Her little man is A-okay, but her ribs aren't. They're a little tiny, teensy wince fucked up. And as she's pushes herself with her mystical, with her alternate weird move, No Limits, to kind of dig Ren out of the rubble, several towns members come to help. And it's a nice moment of kind of like coalescing and joining with the community, until the frustration causes the seed to take over, and Fig scares them away with her rifle, which coincidentally does shock her out of the anger, but does leave her much more exhausted and needing Sheriff Lester's help to get back to the ranger station, where Arthur, using a move that I haven't gotten to use yet, but I'm glad comes up narratively, heals her and stabilizes her, though her wounds are still pretty rough, only to find out that Ren is dead. And that's a whole thing. Further into the woods, we come across our lovely friend Philip, who has met the Dream Blunt rotation of Raccoon Atticus Campbell and old blind Miss Merrill, to have kind of like a mystical, supernatural shakedown of, hot yoga wishes it was this. It is really centering oneself and finding out what the fuck is going on with those voices in Philip's head, and they ask the one question that we have been trying to avoid for 2 seasons, and it's, what are those voices saying? And we're here now, and this is where we're at. All of that, time is ticking down. The seethe continues to press into the citizens. People continue to abandon Fogwell and leave in droves. Some have still stayed. The Pratts are mobilizing. Things look dire, and smoke rises into an ever-darkening sky as we enter into this week's episode of Monster of the Week.
there.
Now, if you really want to do your time low on that, you just gotta stream without pants on.
Okay.
We are live.
That's fine.
We are wearing
That's okay.
pants,
No,
stream,
no,
just-
no one explained this. No, don't
Stream.
give them
This is the
context.
truth. This is just the truth. We finally need to speak our truth. None
Don't,
of us
don't
are
give them
wearing pants.
context. Don't give them
It's
context.
time, guys. I'm
It's true,
tired
I'm
of
not
being
wearing-
afraid.
I'm not wearing pants. It's true.
Well, now I'm terrified.
I'm wearing ball shorts. It's you know.
Well. Oh my goodness. Oh, real fast. Did anybody level up last session at the end of session?
No.
Okay.
I will. It's if I roll poorly today, I will level up.
Okay. Cool.
Probably Cole's
I-
final level up of the season.
I spent like 15 seconds looking at a Thirsty Sword Lesbians playbook and was like, where's the XP thing out there? Because normally I just open my iPad and it's open to Ren's character sheet, but
Sure.
since last week I have to open Thirsty Sword Lesbians stuff. So I was like, where is Ren's XP? Not in that document.
That's hilarious, actually.
I did not level up, but probably will this episode.
Cool.
God, that reminds me that I was supposed to level up and super didn't, so I'll probably consider it during our like snack break.
Yeah,
because-
unless I roll bad 9 times, I don't think I'm gonna be leveling up anytime soon. Which who knows?
Or I could mark some basic moves as advanced. That's
So-
the best.
It's true.
Especially because I have +3 sharp.
Remember you
Would
took
be
that
rad.
+1 to cool also as for the last one.
That was the last one.
Yeah.
I have leveled up since then. It's because I'm very bad at leveling up on time. This is every tabletop game I've ever played. So fucking sorry.
No, it's all good. Dope. Let's see here. Chris has got the eerie music up. Thank you. We start the final session of this mystery with Dustin. Cole is in this locker room, and you are surrounded by the groaning of all these wounded Pratt members. You just bent over to throw up after snapping out of your seethe stupor, and you find yourself you have that terrible feeling in your stomach of like, you know, the it feels empty, your throat's raw from the fucking vomit just fucking going out there and stuff like that. You're feeling a little rough. What are you doing, my guy? Jamie Foster and his 2 goons just left. Boromir's on the ground. What's the plan?
Bleed. First off, Cole is unstable.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really go back to the ranger station or anything regarding Miss Merrill because Cole's pretty sure people will be following him. How difficult is it to remove the gross slug things from their ears? The people that he just beat almost into a coma.
Oh, that's a good question. Would you like to perhaps read a bad situation or investigate a mystery?
Yeah, let's do that. What do we got here? Let's see. I guess investigating mystery is probably the better one in this case because other than, you know, internal hemorrhaging, Cole isn't in immediate danger.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's investigate a mystery and see how that goes, shall we, gang? That is going to be a 6 plus 4, which is a 10. Plus 1 sharp, which is 11.
Damn.
Yeah, I have advanced investigative mystery, so I was like, yeah, I might get to do now.
Doesn't anyone want to help out? Oh, wait. You're all separate.
Yeah, I'm all alone.
I help from beyond.
Dope. Okay, so on 10 plus, hold 2. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here?
Actually, what can hurt it? Looking at these weird little crow scoops.
Yeah, for sure. You're approaching just like any one of these guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So you get down on one knee, you wince because of the pain, and as you get closer, you can see that the earworms that, essentially from a distance look like AirPods, you grasp at the body, and you can feel the muscles within the slippery kind of like skin, like twisting and coiling and things of that nature. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a slug in form in the sense that, it has that kind of structure. You can't squish it as easily as you would a slug, right? There is like a good amount of like substance within that, like you'd have to put a lot more pressure than you would a normal slug. As you begin to kind of pull at it, you see it like begins to attempt to like burrow deeper into the ear as you are attempting to pull it out. So I'm gonna ask you to roll me an act under pressure to keep a grip, because these are like your fingertips, and this thing is slimy to a certain extent.
Actually, just another name might work for this, right?
yes. This is fucking weird. Yeah, you could definitely do it.
A monster phenomenon or other mystical effect. Okay. 4, 5 is a 9. Okay, good. Plus 2 weird, which is 11. Again, okay.
Dope. Okay. Is there a specific way that you would like to pull this thing out of the ear?
Are there multiple ways to pull something out of an ear? Or
I don't know. You said
You could like wrap it around your fingy.
Yeah.
No.
I thought maybe
no.
Cole was gonna pull out like a set of chopsticks and go.
Oh, that would take a lot of force.
I mean, he succeeded in his role. He can describe it however he wants.
I think he is going to do
Cole
something like
puts
that.
his mouth to the ear, sucks it like a noodle.
Chews it up, spits it out, steps on it. No, I think that he is going to do something similar to that, actually, because this is a locker room, and we just wrecked it, I'm assuming, with people being slammed into lockers and stuff. So I think that there's one that's kind of like almost hanging open now at this point, and he reaches in and pulls out a pencil and stabs the thing and pulls it out that way.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. There's still, even as you stab into it and you begin to pull it out, there's still like a lot of resistance. And so when you finally pull out the slug, you realize that the slug itself, I think, is the tip that was showing is just the tail, right? As you pull it out, you see that the slug itself has several kind of like, they're almost like hair-like legs that are like they're grasping at the ear canal and dragging itself inward, and so there's like a small little tug of war, and you pull it out, and the slug itself is about, I want to say, definitely between like 6 to 8 inches in length, as you pull it out, and it's girthy, and you can still see the muscles kind of like twisting in and out. To stab it was very simple, and as you pull it out, it like rides on the end of the pencil, and you can see that on the tip, like where where like on a centipede you'd see mandibles or things of that nature, you see that its face has become kind of like a pseudopod, and there's kind of like this like undulating gaping hole that's like it's apparently it was like sucking on something, and your specific which question did you ask?
What can hurt it?
What can hurt it? As you pull it out, I mean, again, like you just stabbed it with a pencil, you can see that the body is writhing. Like these worms in and of themselves are very simple to kill. You could just stomp on it once it's on the ground. The trick is getting it out of the human skull, right? And outside of brute force, I'd say I'd say out of brute force, I will allow you to keep this question as a hold for later on, just because there's not enough information within this locker room to give you more.
Okay.
But you can still just like stomp on them, but getting them out of the skull is the toughest part.
Okay. Well, he'll definitely stomp on this one.
Cool.
And then I got two holds. Where did it go? I'm gonna see if I can follow at least some of where Jamie Foster might have.
Yeah, for sure. So when as you squish the slug and like the juices and the ichor that was inside kind of like splat out onto the tile floor, it's a mixture of just kind of like very clear liquid, along with some like very pale yellow kind of like other bodily fluids kind of like scattered within. But as you do this, and you hear the sickening like squelch, you hear one phone inside of the pocket of the gentleman that you just freed begin to vibrate, and then another phone begins to vibrate, and then 5 phones begin to vibrate until all the phones on all these individuals that you basically just wailed on are vibrating for like about 3 seconds before they all just stop. It seems as though a message has been sent to them simultaneously.
Well, let's see what that message says, Saul. Let's take a look.
Dope. So you pull out their phone?
Yeah.
Right on.
Listen, they're not going to be using it for a little while.
That's true. You pull out the phone, and on the lock screen, you see that there is a message from Jamie Foster that says, "We're heading to the ranger station. Everyone, make your way there."
Well, shit.
Now, bear in mind, this has been... trying to think. He left, like, maybe 5 minutes ago. So there could be a chance that he's still in the parking lot of the school. But either way, you've got to get out of there.
Yeah, and I think that's what he'll do. And I'm going to hold on to my other hold.
Okay.
At the moment, for Investigate a Mystery, and we'll see. We shall see when I use that. But I think that's the goal here. I think that he's going to slowly, painfully stand and jump out a window. No, and start like just move. He's just gonna push forward and hope that his internal organs stay where they're supposed to for the moment.
All right, yeah. As you get up and you begin to make your way out of the locker room, a hand reaches out and grabs your arm and stops you. You look back and you see Boromir just like, "Cole, man, you can't go out there, man. You're fucked up, dude."
Boromir, I know that it was under extenuating circumstances that you did what you did. And I'm not going to hold it against you, but not everyone chooses to do the worst possible choice when they're given that option. And right now, my friends need me. If I can save Eomir, I promise you I will.
At least let me come with you, man.
Boromir, the last time I agreed to let you do that, I ended up here. How do I know you're not going to do that again?
And Boromir looks like a little crestfallen, and he lets go of your arm and just lets his hands drop.
Listen, I know that this wasn't something that you chose to do yourself. So do this instead. Find out whatever you can in town, and as soon as you find anything suspicious, as soon as you know anything that could possibly help, just send me a text. If you want to help, do that. but I can't let you go with me. I'm sorry. Maybe after all of this, we can sit down and have a talk about it. But right now, I can't risk it. I'm sorry, Boromir.
And he just kind of nods. Kind of
You can
somewhat.
find out where
dejectedly.
Aramir is. Tell me.
And you see he kind of shoves his hands into his pockets.
And maybe call an ambulance for these guys.
Yeah, I guess so. Wait, Cole. When he's gonna stop
What?
you right before like you turn down the hallway, and he's going to pull out the keys from Miss Merrill's lemon car and just toss them to you.
Cole will. I actually think Cole will try to catch them, but a pain will shoot through his side, and he's gonna miss, and they're gonna fall. So he's gonna have to bend down and pick them up again. Because, we just had a cool action scene of Cole beating up a bunch of dudes in a locker room. I think, Cole isn't always an action hero, and I
Sure.
think that this is where we can show that that's the case. Of
Mhm.
the seed was really making him push his limits there.
For sure.
But now that it's over, he's kind of like in an oh no zone.
Just like groaning as he picks up the key.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Good luck.
Yeah, take care of yourself, man. Man, inspiring so much confidence. Good.
Yeah, Cole spits blood on the ground and starts heading out.
Okay, excellent. Dope. We're gonna go. We'll keep pushing on a little bit further. So you get to the school parking lot, and you do see that there are still like several. There's about 4 cars parked, kind of like semicircle around the lemon. Are you going straight for it, or are you waiting to see what happens? These cars are filled with people, and you can see that most of them are Pratts.
Okay, I as much as he would want to go out and try to be the hero, I think Cole is smart enough to understand that he's not in the shape to take on multiple cars full worth of
Multiple cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that he's going to kind of crouch down and wait to see before moving towards the lemon.
Cool. Yeah, you watch this scene unfold as it's just several members kind of like crowding around Jamie Foster as he's kind of speaking and things of that nature. You do see that for the most part it's kind of like 3. There's like a minivan, there's 2 sedans, and there's 1 truck. The truck looks very familiar to you as you watch Bartholomew Beckham Sr. step out of his truck and kind of like wave over at Jamie and kind of like make a gesture to an imaginary watch. Jamie kind of nods, does some final kind of checks with everyone, and he runs and he jumps onto the bed of the truck. Very kind of like 80s bully kind of style where he's like grabbing the top of the truck and things of that nature. And you do see Bartholomew Beckham. Why do I feel like I can't say the name Bartholomew Beckham? Yeah, he grabs a rifle from the back of the truck and tosses it up to Jamie, who slings it over his shoulder. And then you watch the truck, him jump into the truck, kick on the engine, and peel out where all the 3 cars kind of like peel out with them.
Question for the keeper, real
Yes.
quick. Does Arthur have a phone?
Sorry, say that again.
Does Arthur have a phone?
Yes, Arthur does have a phone.
Okay. Cole is going to shoot Arthur a text because he's the only one that Cole
Knows is still
knows.
yeah.
Yeah. And just basically giving him a heads up of, Jamie Foster might be showing up with a small army.
Okay, cool. Those pesky phones.
That's true.
All these kids these days on their phones.
You're the one that brought up phones, though. I just want to say whenever they buzzed in those guys' pockets. So
That's true. I did. The villains can have them, not you guys. It makes it too easy.
Hey,
Steve.
Philip doesn't have a phone. I'll say that.
Dope. Okay. Cool. So you go ahead and send that message to Arthur. I think that in and of itself is a good transition back to the ranger station.
Yeah.
So Fig, you are kind of like sitting up on this table again. You've been stabilized and you've been healed for a point of harm. You're still rough. The next time you take harm, you'll become unstable again. It's not pretty, but it's gotten you to a much better place than you were, 20 minutes ago driving down that rocky road in Sheriff Lester's car. So, you see Arthur, you've just told Arthur about the explosion and like not being able to find Ren. And Arthur is kind of like frozen in the moment, just kind of like lost in his thoughts. When you see his phone vibrate on the table, and there is a text message from Cole saying that Jamie Foster is rounding up a posse and is going to be making their way to the ranger station.
Well, I think we should get out of here then.
We need to find their body. We need to find them.
I mean, I'm with you. Let's get back into town. I don't know what accent's happening out of my mouth right now. I'm so sorry. It's like not right.
When we... and you see Arthur turns to Sheriff Lester and he says, "Can we get word to Philip and Miss Merrill?" And Sheriff Lester kind of like shrugs and he's like, "I don't really know about all that what they're doing up there, but you could try. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't go through though. Why?" And Arthur kind of like looks at Fig and he like you see he looks very fucking conflicted, but he says, "I only know one person who can bring someone back from the dead." And right now, I'll take fucking anything.
I mean... And I saw this text come through, right? Is Arthur still illiterate, or...
We just foiled Dustin's fun plan of sending good information.
I do think we said that
Miss
Arthur
Merrill
was learning.
Yeah, Arthur
He was
has
being
been
taught
learning.
at some point,
Correct.
yeah.
I don't think he can read as fast as the normal person, but I think given like 3-5 minutes, he would have gotten the gist of this message.
Okay, yeah. Just making sure that he's not like receiving text and he's just like, hee hee, little squiggles on my phone. Like, these are fun.
Dot smiley face.
Well, listen, we can try to find Philip and Miss Merrill out in the woods. We can try to get Ren's body on our own, but if Daniel Foster's coming out here with goodness knows how many people, I'm really hurting. I'm not gonna be able to fight very well.
Then we don't. We go find Ren, and we let Kernunos and his folk take care of those who step into his fucking land.
I mean, he sure has done a really good job of that thus far. That was sarcasm if you didn't
Thank you
register that.
for saying that, because that was
Right. Sorry, I'm a little hard to think straight when you're almost dead. All right, well, why don't we get back into town with everyone who's here and maybe take roads that we won't pass Daniel Foster on. I mean, I hesitate to say it, we might have to go by foot.
Ooh, that's an interesting proposal, Fig.
Uh-oh.
I was not planning for that, but that is very fun.
You weren't planning a sneaky escape.
I wasn't planning a sneaky escape on foot, but that is fun. I think
If you had Philip, he could have carried you.
I think Sheriff Lester speaks up and he says, "No offense, but," he points to you, Fig, and he says, "You just nearly died." And he points to Arthur and he's like, "That boy's fucked up in the arm area."
Correct.
So
Just generally, yeah.
I don't think going on foot is, because what if one of you trips on a rock and you're fucking dead? So why not just take the car and we just head on down? I know some trails. Once we get to the main trailhead, we can just split off and we probably won't run into them. Either way, I'm still a fucking sheriff in this town. It's not like they're gonna stop me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that, but if you're willing to do the driving, maybe Arthur and I can hide in the back seat. You got like a tarp or something?
What are you talking about? Of course I have a tarp. I'm a man in his 60s in the Pacific Northwest. Yes. Okay. So the plan is to go back into town, back to the antique shop, and see what can happen there.
God, I think so. I mean, I don't want to stay here if
Yeah.
Daniel Foster's coming here. Like, straight up, I can't win that fight. I've 2 points of harm and I'm dying. Like, no.
We could always Home
no.
Alone this shit.
I do have a trap that I made last session.
That's true. You do.
Yeah. That we never gave full tags to, and I also shoot real good with gun. But I don't know. I think that considering we have absolutely no idea where Miss Merrill and Philip have gone off to, wander in the woods in our state is not the correct activity.
That is true.
And I know I could get us back to town quietly and safely, but if we're trying to get Ren on any sort of timeline, we better go, and we better go now.
Arthur nods and heads off to grab his sword real quick. Do you want to leave that trap here at the ranger station at all, or do you want to hold it for later?
Hold on to
Okay.
it. I feel like if I leave it here, it's not like in Mario Kart where like your character does a little Yahoo when like your banana peel left
Sure.
behind actually gets someone. Like, Fig will never know. And you know what? She's not that kind of person, but I think she feels safer having it
Okay.
as something she can set up if she's like posted up somewhere else.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Maybe if we were staying.
It saves us a lot of trouble for when Miss Merrill comes back to the ranger station for some tea and then opens the door. Click. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then it just turns into dust because there's no. Oh no, because the Rangers. Never mind. I'm in the wrong place. I also have, I just skimmed my character sheet to see if I had the spell alarm, and then remembered this isn't D&D 5th edition, so that's where we're at today.
put away
mentally.
that silver thread. Dope. Excellent.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and say everyone piles into Sheriff Lester's truck, and I think it's like, I want to say it's kind of like a truck jeep kind of situation, but it's a little off-roading kind of vehicle. And y'all power down through the woods, and it's about halfway down the trail when Chris, that very handy earthquake sound that you have? Could you go ahead and play
Let's
that
hope it's
for
the
me?
right one.
Yay!
Just imagine you went.
Yep.
Very good, very good. About halfway through, the ground begins to shake, and Sheriff Lester immediately hits the brakes, but the ground is muddy. It's shaking right now. The car skids, and it's it not in a detriment kind of way, not in a Cole Van Helsing kind of way, but it slams into a nearby tree. There's like a slight dent on the door. Nobody's injured, but one of the tires is now kind of like stuck in the mud, and now he can't necessarily it's spinning out over and over again, and he's like, shit, and he kind of hits the steering wheel. and gets out and kind of like looks around for a moment just to make sure that there's not any falling branches that could possibly hurt y'all from the shaking, from the earthquake itself. But the vehicle has been fucked up, and it is you're gonna have to make it by foot the rest of the way. And Cole, you feel this too in the parking lot of the high school as well. Philip, you don't feel this at all.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
relaxing.
Yeah, you're relaxing. Maxing, acting all cool, playing some b-ball outside of school.
I was gonna make the joke.
And Ren, you also don't feel it. But the just in case that wasn't
Yikes!
obvious.
Yikes!
This earthquake has essentially just kind of like shaken up the modes of transportation. As you all kind of begin to make your way slowly down the woods, you did make it far enough down that like it's not too much of a hike back down into Fogwell. But the darkness of the clouds makes it hard to tell what time of day it is. It's still just very, very dark in general. And you can see lots of like headlights moving like within the town proper and stuff like that, whether that's people leaving or the Pratts mobilizing, anything of that nature. Like y'all are just seeing a lot of activity down there in general. So we'll go ahead and say that y'all are making your way down to Fogwell when we transition over to Philippe.
Okay. Okay. Me?
Yes, Philip. You are still in your lotus position, hovering in the air in your astral projection with Philippus right next to you. You've just had this revelation of this memory of Pompeii and kind of like being talked through this experience with Miss Merrill and Atticus Campbell. You have now kind of divinated that this person next to you was you a long time ago. And we now begin to press into the next voice. What's Philip doing? What's going on?
Cool. Do you want me to describe the voice, like what's happening next? Or you want me to get right into this?
Absolutely.
This is either going to get be cool or really cringy. We'll see how this goes. Okay. So Philip, I think without speaking at first, we see this foggy sort of astral plane that they're in sort of twist and move into this street, this old-timey street of London. There are people lined on the streets, leaned up against the walls, coughing, their eyes bloodshot, they're pale, they're weak. And we see walking down the middle of the street, stopping and trying to help people in any way they can, a plague doctor with the very typical plague doctor mask, and this black hood and black clothes. And Philip just sort of stares. I imagine they're sort of floating above and sort of looking down upon this scene. Miss Marilyn, Atticus, and Philip and Philippus. And I think Philip stares down at this man and just goes, Oh. Yes, I remember. I was cool. I had a beard in this one.
You can't tell.
Well, we get to that later. I was actually pretty excited about this. I was one of the few of the workers that actually went to medical school, though that didn't really help a lot. Um, I really thought I could. I didn't know. I thought at the time that my visions of Pompeii were just a dream at this point. I didn't understand what they were. I was just a man trying to help. And we see sort of the scene below shift as to a few months later, where this same figure is walking down the same street and bodies are piled up, so many deaths around this symbol of all the people he wanted to save but couldn't. And he falls to the ground shaking, and he rips off his mask and tears back his hood to reveal a man that of similar features to Philippus, but different in a lot of ways, almost as if, like they're blood related. Like if they were standing next to each other, you're like, maybe there's something going on here, but different all the same. He has green eyes, a darker red, brownish hair, tied up in a bun, a thick beard, as he's sitting on the foggy, sick covered streets of London, surrounded by all this dead. His eyes sunken, his skin sickly, blood is like dripping from the corners of his mouth, as it's obvious he's been crying for hours, as he just stares at his hand shaking. I couldn't save any of it. God, they were so, I wanted to save them. I tried. God, I couldn't even save her. I couldn't even save my own family. She was so light. She weighed so little. And I couldn't stop it. All of it. It's as he falls over, convulsing and coughing, as the Black Death takes his toll on him. And this man dies full of regrets, surrounded by the bodies of those he couldn't save.
We watch as that same energy kind of coalesces around Philip's body. And within that astral space, a second figure pulls itself out of Philip's figure and hovers next to him. A man holding the plague doctor's hand in one hand, looking, again, very similar to Philippus. I think both Atticus and Miss Merrill are quiet for a moment. And Miss Merrill kind of speaks up first, and she says, "Would you change anything, Philip?"
I wish. A part of me wishes I never was foolish enough to care.
The caring's what makes you human.
And look what that got me. Do I look human to you?
Philip, out of all your friends, you toe the line between humanity and the supernatural the most. And somehow,
and makes it ever more clear when you choose the humanity. Take what you will from this pain, from the lessons of the past, but don't forget what they're trying to teach you.
We will. I have just been learning the same lesson over and over again. Whether it be Philippus Copet, and he looks to the plague doctor, Dr. Pearsona. All these aspects, and even beyond, all learn the same lesson in the end.
And what do you think that is?
I couldn't save anyone.
It's at this point that Atticus Campbell floats over to you, and he puts a little raccoon hand on your shoulder. And he says, "Well, let's see if we can change it this time, eh, old boy?"
We haven't. It just goes so much deeper. This pit.
Do you want to stop, Philip?
No. It's hard to face it, but face it I must.
Miss Merrill kind of nods, and the voices return. And it's for Philip to dive into the next one.
Okay, cool. You want me to keep going?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we now jump to we jump to a nice little village town where it's your nice average 1600, like late 1600s little village of America. And we see this, explorers kind of have settled in for now. There is a young woman with big red curly hair and green eyes. Again, very similar to Philippus and Dr. Pearsona. Sort of running around town, and the townsfolk sort of being like, "Hey, watch where you're going, Piper!" And she runs around and she waves to the village people as she runs into the forest. She sits down as she's deep into this opening and sort of starts, she slowly like pulls out this tiny book with runes written on it and starts opening it up and reading it. As slowly but surely these magical creatures, these fey-like creatures start appearing around her, and just sort of communing with her as she studies magic and figures it out. And you see she's sort of talking through, and she's like, "Every night I have these dreams that I used to be in Pompeii, and I used to be in London, and I was trying to do these things, and I can't, and I'm trying so hard. I think if I can tap into these memories, I can sort of access and find a way to see the future, and maybe that will help. Maybe that can help people." And we see her study and commune with these creatures and learn more magic and develop her powers as she is able to throw bones of dead animals and divine things and see glimpses into the future. But of course, this image of happy, engaging learning is interrupted by a cut to the future where this girl, Piper, is tied to a post in the middle of the village. Other women around her also tied to similar posts that look very similar to her, as if they are also family. As Piper screams out, "No, you don't understand. I saw a vision, a mountain. It's different from the one from my dreams. It explodes. There's fire, death, people turning on each other." And as the townsfolk that she grew to love and want to protect have turned on her and have found out of her magic use and begin to burn her sisters alive and make her watch right before they turn to her as she screams out crying, "No, please, I wanted to save you. I needed to save you," as they throw a final torch and burn this poor young girl alive in her final moments, screaming out in pain, trying to cast any kind of spell or divination to see why this happened or how she could have done this different. And all of that is left to nothing as the smoke of the fire disappears and turns into the smoky, foggy aether around them.
Piper
Ed.
Morse.
Yeah, Piper Morse.
I heard about her.
I found such a warmness in learning about magic. It felt like I could finally understand something, but little did I know I was waking up to the reality of my situation. Piper was able to realize, was the first to truly understand her situation in her final moments. That Philippus, Pierce, and her are all different steps in the cycle in the road. And she too couldn't stop it. She couldn't save anyone.
It does give us some insight into where your latent natural magical abilities do come from.
Yes, I never had to learn or practice again. It all it seems to be compounding.
You know what else seems to be compounding, Philip? Your want to save people.
Well, my next step gets a little... I don't really live up to that theory.
Well, if that's how you feel, Philip, then I guess we should keep going.
Okay.
We also failed to mention, but Piper Morse does appear amongst the other silhouettes as well within this astral plane. As the three of you agree to plunge further into the voices and deeper into Philip's past, we are going to go ahead and take our 10-minute break. We're going to take our 10-minute break, and we're going to come back with Ren.
But Ren's dead.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's just gonna be 15 minutes of silence.
Correct. But
Really
we'll be
funny
back.
if it was. Just commit to that bit really hard.
We'll be back in 10 minutes. Please stretch your legs, unclench your jaw, get some water. Feel free to grab a snack and join us for our brief snack check after we come back. And before we launch into more emotional stuff. So We love you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in 10 minutes.
Bye-bye.
Excellent.
Snack check time. Time for the snack check.
Why do I just fucking love autotune so much? Like, it's just such a good,
really
like,
good.
it just brings so much serotonin into my brain.
I'm glad I could do this for you.
That's good, Chris. We should keep doing that for all the snack checks.
Yeah, my next character is gonna be Coda exactly, but he's just auto-tuned.
He's a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might take that audio clip and make like an intro into it or something along those lines. I think
That's
that'd be
funny.
very good. Good stuff. Yes, it's the snack check.
Here's the snack check.
Does anybody want to go first so that they can eat their snack while the rest of us speak?
I'll go. I'm having miso ramen because I had big snack earlier and this is little snack. So.
Mr. Ramen, good choice.
Nice.
I'm having the best kind of M&Ms, but before I show you what those are, one of you guys' favorite kind of M&Ms?
Mini,
Same with you.
mini
Caramel.
M&Ms are the best.
Mini
Chad, you too.
M&Ms. Peanut butter is a close second, but mini is the best.
If you say peanut M&Ms, I'm gonna be very sad.
Sally, what was your?
I was hoping that y'all would skip me over. I just
Man, if you don't like
don't like
M&Ms, that's fine.
No. I just like normal M&Ms.
I do think that's valid.
I feel like
It is valid.
the
Yeah.
mini M&Ms. I do enjoy them. I just like.
You
I-
eat so many.
I have pudgy hands, and so they're very small in my hand. So like to grip them with, and like so I end up eating them like a monster because that's the best way to eat them in my opinion.
And that's the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make you feel
I
big.
only really like the mini M&Ms when they come in the tubes because then you can just
Yes.
Yeah.
slurp
Oh
the tubes.
yeah.
I do not have mini M&Ms though. Those are top three. Those are top three. Chris,
Carmel?
no,
No.
but it's also not peanut M&Ms. I was gonna try and lead you on like it was peanut M&Ms, but it isn't. No, Mars is actually the closest because it is in fact peanut butter M&Ms.
Wow.
The peanut butter M&Ms, the best kind of M&M out there. I will not
I
be
also
taking
like the
questions
pretzel ones.
at this time. The pretzel ones are pretty good. I've not
Yeah.
had those in a while though.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I feel like for me personally, if I'm gonna have a peanut chocolate candy coated thing, I'm gonna have Reese's Pieces.
But the thing is, if I'm gonna have Reese's Pieces, I'm just gonna have a Reese cup. Like I don't.
Interesting.
Like, that's
How we
I feel
disagree,
about
sir. How we disagree.
it. But
And Reese's Pieces don't have chocolate.
They do.
No, they don't.
It's chocolate and peanut butter.
Reese's do. Reese's Pieces do not.
They do. It's the chocolate
do
peanut butter
not.
mix.
No.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Don't
I
say this
will
to me.
look this up right now.
Mars, you're trying.
Google
You're.
says, Google says Reese's Pieces are peanut butter candy manufactured by the Hershey Company. They're oblate, spheroid in shape and covered in candy shells that are colored yellow, orange, or brown. They can be purchased in plastic packets, cardboard boxes, or cup-shaped travel containers. They don't say
I'm
anything
being
about,
bamboozled.
They don't say anything about chocolate.
That's
yeah.
so.
They
That's,
don't have chocolate.
Hersheyland advertises Reese's Pieces peanut butter candy as Reese's peanut butter in a crunchy candy shell.
chocolate is not an ingredient.
Yeah.
I've been bamboozled.
Chris's entire world is
Spinning.
Yeah.
like we're gonna have to cancel stream for the rest of the stream while Chris processes this life-changing information that he has discovered.
It's just like Kraft mac and cheese not actually containing any cheese.
True, it's cheese flavored water.
For a split second, I was like, Chris, this isn't the track we talked about. And then it makes so much more sense now.
All right, so what's
Chris is
everybody else
having a
having
moment.
while
I
Chris
know
has this
this
moment?
song. What is this song that's being played here?
Chris's big reveal.mp4.
Come on, Chris.
No,
let's get
this
It
is
that
sounds
Dr.
very
Death.
similar to a song from Doctor Who. Fun fact, in 5th grade, my entire music taste was the Doctor Who soundtrack, and I'm forgetting the name of the band.
Paramore.
My Chemical Romance.
Nope. The one for old people. Pink Floyd.
My Chemical Romance for old people. Pink Floyd.
The one for old people. God.
Incredible.
I was thinking because my dad has a Pink Floyd shirt, so my brain was like, oh yeah.
But no, that song played during I think Chuck's funeral in season 1.
God, maybe that's why it exists in my brain.
Yeah. It's fucking hilarious. Mars, did you say your snack?
I had a very productive snack check. I had more of those like Oreo things with ice cream. It's like the Oreo cookie but ice cream in the middle.
Hell yeah.
And then I slathered myself in aloe vera, which is not a snack, but and it also did not make me feel like a snack, but now I got shiny sticky arms.
Sure.
Amazing.
That's good. That's good.
I also have water.
Hell yeah. Hydration is important.
My OCs are on my water bottle and I'm very proud of it.
Very cute. Dope. I had a granola bar, and I also got some water. That was that was my snack. Very simple, very easy. Wait, Chris, did you even say your snack?
No, I didn't. I had a mental breakdown.
That's right. Please tell us your snack.
Yeah, I have Doritos Flaming Hot Nacho.
Nice.
Oh, my favorite Doritos.
My God, I went to the grocery store yesterday and they had the Pringles tubes, but they had mini Sun Chips and mini Doritos, and they were this big.
Wow.
And it was
Incredible.
That sounds
And
like
they
they're
not-
just selling you crumbs, and they were like,
They were
these
actually
suckers.
like the correct shape. I was making like I went grocery shopping with a buddy of mine, and we were fucking starving, and so we were trying to make a charcuterie plate. We needed chips, and he saw the Doritos, and he was like, "These are our chips." I was like, "You got it, boss man. I can't stop that."
Hell yeah. Those are fun. We recently, Sydney and I went to the this like film festival premiere for the Flamin' Hots movie. I think that's what it's called. It's the
About the creation of the Flaming Hot Cheeto.
correct. Yes, it's the directed by Eva Longoria, and it was very cute. And afterwards, they had a poor movie theater employee dressed up as Chester Cheetah, like running around and taking pictures with people. And I felt very bad for them. Because it wasn't actually like a full-on
Saul,
Chester
you don't
Cheetah.
understand. That was me.
And you know the Goofy at Disneyland that made you cry when you were 4 years old? That was also
That
me.
was me.
Do you understand, Barry? I ran back in time.
Yeah.
That's. You're wrong, Barry. I went back in time and traumatized you as Goofy on your 4th-year-old birthday trip to Disneyland. I made sure Goofy got really in your space when you didn't want him to,
Eric, I'm
just
not,
so you would cry.
Eric, that poor movie theater employee was probably being paid barely minimum wage. I was not going to pick a fight with this Chester Cheetah. When I meet the real Chester Cheetah, we will have words. But he is merely just a part-time employee, and I'm not going to do that to him. Plus, it wasn't actually like a full-on Chester Cheetah costume. It was more of like a onesie/pajama Chester Cheetah thing with like a hood. It's a hood, so like several times he was like running around and the hood would like fly back, and I was like, "Are you drinking water, my guy? Because this is a very packed movie theater, and you are in several layers of clothing." But yes, I think we are. Thank you for joining us for the snack check. If you'd like to see more snack check fun, please join our Discord. There's a fun little channel that we have in there where we share our food and share photos and things of that nature. I think if we are all good, we should probably jump back into the session. We return with Ren. Ren, you find yourself sitting at this campfire on a stone seat, sitting across from a figure that you are very familiar with, a Theodore Ulysses Franklin, who you remember from a while back. This is season 1, and different times. But
Watch on YouTube now.
Thank you. the campfire is crackling and the ashes kind of rise up, and you remember you traveled here from the purple sands of the Duat to somewhere else, and you're kind of sitting within a very kind of like rocky desert kind of canyon where the Milky Way is stretching above. It's Big Bend National Park. It's Big Bend National Park. You should come check out Big Bend National Park because it's lovely. It's beautiful out there. You can still see the Milky Way. It's lovely. And Teddy sits to the other side of you. Elderly man, late 60s or mid to late 60s, looking at least. Latino man in a gray cowboy hat with a 442 locomotive, not running currently, just sitting quietly behind him. As he kind of stares at you, you can see that he is happy to see you, just extraordinarily confused. And he just kind of like looks at you and he says, right, so you might need to run some of that by me again. So you're not dead?
I don't know. I guess not.
Okay.
I should have died,
Right. It seemed
but
like
I'm here now.
You were on your way.
Yeah.
Okay. That kind of makes some sense, I suppose. And Ma stopped you
Yeah.
because they want you to go back
Yeah.
and finish a mission that they're not really giving you a clear, goal for.
Yep. I'm supposed to finish some sort of project, some sort of mission, complete some sort of task, and I don't know what the hell it is.
Right. And they said that they were going to send you to talk to someone who lived in a lot of regret?
Yeah, and now I'm here.
Right.
So, you kind of got called out.
Yeah. Pardon my French, but your boss is kind of a jackass.
You're telling me.
I think at this point, this kettle that's on the campfire kind of begins to sing, and he kind of like goes in and picks it up and pours you a cup of coffee, and he pours himself a cup of coffee, and he kind of hands it over to you. And he's not taking a drink, he's just kind of like holding it in his hands, and he says, and you're not sure if this has something to do with that mountain you were telling me about, the one that is gonna erupt?
I don't know. I assume it does. I assume the mission does, because I mean that's the only mission I can see, but I'm not fucking all knowing or whatever.
Right. And so you're not sure you want to be the champion or whatever anymore.
No, I don't. Being the champion means I'm fighting all the time. And not even death is a release, I guess. Yeah. I'm tired of fighting. I haven't been able to rest for 20 some years. And yeah, I wasn't myself for part of that, but it's just been I don't want to say I'd like to go back to how it was before Apophis, but I want to go back to not being a fighter all the time. Though I suppose I was sort of a fighter back then, but just a different kind.
I mean, it makes sense to me. You just want the choice,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And you see he kind of like tips his hat back a little bit and kind of leans back a little, and he says, Ren, you deserve the choice. You know, you deserve to choose what you want. And like, I don't doubt that you're still going to help people. You're still going to help people the way you can, stuff like that. But, I know better than most that the power of Apophis was forced onto you. You know? And when that finally left, we were fucking in the thick of it, you know? So you made a choice, one that you thought was best. But now you have more information, and it's never too late to walk something back or to change your mind. We're constantly changing. That's just how life works. And it seems like your boss, who deals in black and white, doesn't have a full grasp of that, unfortunately. But, I don't think you're wrong for wanting to, take a breather, see what else is out there.
Yeah, I think since Apophis, all the friends I've made have been through this line of work, and I'm worried that if I back out now, I'll lose them, and I'll lose touch with reality. I'm too weird to be a regular human again, but I'm also... I might also be too mundane to fit in with, the monster hunters again, and I just want to find a place where I'm happy.
Yep. And he kind of smiles, and you see there's like a bit of kind of like a sad crinkle to his wrinkles. And he like nods and he says, I understand, Ren, and I think... And you see he kind of like wipes away a tear, and he's like, whatever you choose, it will be the choice, and the consequences or blessings that come from it, that's what happens. And you'll have regrets, sure. Everyone does. But the good's gonna outweigh that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you gotta chase that. And if they're really your friends, they won't abandon you even after you leave the life. And you see he kind of strokes his mustache and nods a little bit, and you see he's kind of debating saying something to you, and he looks up and he says, after Chuck, we all kind of went our separate ways, and I got a chance to be with my daughter, my granddaughter, and some time on the farm, which is nice. Doesn't mean that I didn't miss y'all, but at the same time, I was where your brain is at. I'm old, I'm washed out. He holds up both of his arms. You see that he has one arm, both arms, and he gestures to the one that is missing, is supposed to be missing, and he says, I'm an old, one-armed cowboy.
I wasn't really gonna be able to fight in those back streets with Alex and Anne and Cassie. Not as well as I used to. Or, you know, better with when Chuck was there. And I didn't want, when I got sick, I didn't want to bother them, you know. I didn't want to distract them. I didn't want to make them feel bad. I didn't want them to see me like that, you know. But time wore on, and I knew I had to say something to him. I owed it to Chuck, you know, to make sure that we talked before. And I guess it's, you know, in my eyes, another blessing that you're here now too. Because to me, you're a part of us. And I got to say my words to Alex and Cassie. I got to say my words to Anne. And now you're here. And when he says here, you hear steam hiss from old Tex, and a small trail of smoke begins to exit out of its stack. And he looks back at it, and he kind of nods a little bit, getting a little far off look. There's a lot of things that I regret, Ren. I regret the way I ran away when my wife died. I regret the time that I missed being able to be with my family. I will never regret meeting you, Alex, Cassie, and reuniting with Chuck. Y'all brought out the courage in me that I thought I had lost. And for that time, even for everything that happened and those that we lost, I'll always carry it in here. And I want you to know there's always a place for you out at the ranch, you know, if you ever want to be there.
I might take you up on that.
It's a lease for life. Got, a little pair of monogram boots by the side. Technically nobody took them with them, but they're all there in case anybody wants them. There's a promise that I have to keep now. A promise I made to myself. And if you want, I'll tell Chuck you said hello.
Please do.
He kind of nods, and you see the cup of coffee's gone now. It just went somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he pauses for a moment, and he kind of looks at you, and he says, you mentioned this Arthur fella a little earlier. Sounds like a rather handsome fella.
And I think, like, at the mention of Arthur's name, Ren cracks into this big smile.
That's good.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's good. It's good to have people that make you smile like that. Hold on to that, Ren.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's no regrets will come, and they'll stay and they'll go. But you'll always remember the blessings, the things that make you crack a smile like that. Those are the ones that stick with you. And here At the end, I can promise you those are the ones that I'm thinking about more than any fucking regret in my life. So, you know, you tell Ma what you need to tell Ma, but you do right by yourself. And then you do right by those that you love. And then you do right by everything else. I trust you to do right by you. I think you know for sure by now what's best for you.
And Ren nods his head and says, I think I can do that.
Teddy kind of nods, and he kind of looks up and he says, oh no. Looks like the sun's rising. And he just kind of nods. I've always been used to...
I'll see you again sometime from now.
He kind of looks up and he says, "You're gonna have to go looking for me a little bit, but
I can do that."
I guess we'll finally see if Chuck was right. See if there's a big Zedis in the afterlife."
Yep.
He stands up, and you for sure see that now that the sun's rising. It's kind of strange because it's not like necessarily coming from a spherical sun. It's more just kind of like the band of a dawn as like the full-on brightness of the sun. And I think Teddy will walk over to you, and he'll hold out his arms for a hug.
And Ren reciprocates and gives him a big hug.
When you make contact with Teddy and you kind of like, you grab onto each other, you get a flash of a hospital room, and you see Teddy's laying in it. His eyes are closed and he's holding the hand of his daughter, and his granddaughter's curled up next to him, and there's a single tear kind of rolling down his cheek. And you separate, and the vision goes away, and you see Teddy's kind of crying right now, and he looks at you.
I think Ren is as well.
He grips your shoulder, and he says, "I'm not gonna let Chuck be alone."
Yeah, don't.
So when you come find me, you expect him to.
Got it.
And he kind of nods and he says, "Stick to your friends. You'll be able to help in some way, shape, or form. And there's no only two choices whenever a situation comes up. Ma'at needs you, but you don't owe them anything. So you go back to your friends. You hold on to them as best you can for as long as you can. Because that's what's most important."
I will.
can't stall anymore. And he kind of gives you a small grin, and you separate. And he walks over to Old Tex and climbs up into the cabin. And as soon as he kind of like steps into it, slowly but surely the wheels begin to turn and the steam begins to puff, and Old Tex begins to slowly kind of head towards the horizon. And you see Teddy take one last look back at you, and he props up his hat.
And Ren waves.
And he'll put it back onto his head, and as the locomotive begins to pick up steam and head off to the horizon, you hear the whistling of the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. And the train flashes and is gone, and suddenly you are standing in a white room with a single door in front of you, and you hear the voice of Ma'at ring out to you and say, "I hope you learned something from your friend. Have you made your choice?"
Depends on how willing you are to work with me here. I know what I want. Will you listen to me?
Go ahead and roll me a manipulate someone.
Oh, don't say that.
And
me-
the -1 from Fogwell is not affecting you right now.
Okay. My -1 charm sure is, though. Oh, fuck yeah. That's a 6 and a 4, which is a 10. -1 is a 9.
Excellent. On a 7 to 9, they'll do it, but if you do something for them right then to show you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it. And so I think in this specific scenario, I think Ma'at will respond and say, "Are you proposing a deal?"
I am.
Very well. Name your terms.
I will keep being your champion. But when I say I'm done, I'm done. There's no sending me back out. I finished this mountain mission, and maybe I decide to keep working for you, maybe I don't. But I can't do this forever, and I can't do this until my unclear mission is finished. I'm gonna figure out this mountain thing with the help of your power as your champion. And then after that, all bets are off.
There's silence for a good chunk of time. And you hear Ma'at say, "In exchange for saving Fogwell, I will agree to your terms. However, when you return, if you die, I will not bring you back. You do not want to be the champion. You do not receive that privilege.
I understand.
And you will save Fogwell by any means necessary.
I will.
Then we have an accord. And the door swings open, and there's a blinding flash of light. And we're going to go ahead and transition back to, let's say, let's keep the good times rolling, guys, right? Philip, let's jump back, buddy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, goodness.
If you need a
Okay,
bit of
fine.
time, we can jump to someone else. I was just
I mean, it's
riding
fine. I don't
that.
know. I didn't know. Okay. I mean, I can if we want to just cap this off, but goodness. Okay. Cool.
Dope. The blinding flash transitions, and we enter the gray world of this foggy astral space that Philip and his previous lives, along with Miss Merrill and Atticus Campbell, currently inhabit. Philip, what is going on as you begin to focus in on this final voice?
Philip looks to these three and says, before he channels in, is just like, okay, this is the meaty part. This will be where I wanted. I wanted very hard to change things, and I think I can maybe repurpose my mistakes, and hopefully maybe that will give us our best chance to maybe helping this situation.
We're ready when you are, Philip.
Okay. And he channels this other voice, this final voice in, and we witness a man, again, very similar to physical features to the other five. We see a man screaming in bed, similar features, almost, the same exact hairstyle that Philip has. I guess if you were very picky about it, you would notice he has the same ears. Wow. And he's tossing and turning in bed as these flashes of visions from the past fill his mind. The images of him fighting in Pompeii or fighting to save people in Pompeii, and also past of being a Roman soldier and actual fighting in war, and then jumping forward to his eventual death and suffocation under the sands of the eruption and dust of Pompeii, and then jumping forward to the streets of London where he's trying to save people during the Black Death, or going through medical school and just can't do it, and then jumping to Piper Moores, who had such a inquisitive love of magic and this mystical world in the forest, but then could not save herself and her sisters from getting burned at the stake. And he's thrashing and screaming in bed as these images fill his mind. And he reaches out, his eyes now glowing green, as a lamp by its side, the side of the table, explodes. And a woman opens the door. It looks like she's been crying. She's holding a baby. And she just says, Pip, you're insane. I can't fucking deal with you waking us up every night. I'm taking the baby. We are going to visit family in Fogwell. You stay as far away from us as we can. I don't want to see you again. You need help. And this man sort of now awake, sweating profusely, holds his head in his hands. It's just sort of like, it's just, they're not dreams. They're not dreams, they're real. Something's wrong, something's going wrong. I'm hearing voices in my head. There's something's going to happen. And Fogwell, you can't, no, don't go to Fogwell. And she's like, and she just shakes her head, carrying presumably their child as they walk out the door, leaving Pip, this man, to himself, as he just sort of, he shakes his head and he's like, I just, and you hear, and I think in the astral plane you see the physical bodies of Philippus Copit, Dr. Piersana, and Piper Moores muttering under their breaths, sort of mimicking the voices that this man is hearing. Every now and then you're able to save them. You can do it. Save them. This is it. It's only gonna get worse. You have to do it. You have to work now. And he just screams out and says, "No, stop it! I can't. I'll stop it now. Whoever's doing this to me, please, I will make this stop. I will make it stop." And he rips open. He starts scribbling notes down as he's listening to voices. I need something to stop this. And he starts writing this spell. And Miss Merrill and Atticus, who are familiar with magic, sort of see this as like, magic is a little bit of a, it's your heart, there's aspect of it that's your heart and soul, but this is like insane magic of like Frankensteining a whole bunch of different techniques together, from different eras and voices of other kinds as into this spell. And he closes the book and he runs out, and you see this sort of time lapse of him driving across country in this super old car. Good old 1900s fancy radio, playing some classic songs like wait, I can actually do this.
Is that happening?
Welcome on, 1907, isn't this a year? Crazy year, ain't it? Hope everything goes well.
This is my jam.
Atticus Campbell on the radio, calling out to all you cool cats and kittens. Anyway.
As this man, sweating, eyes sunken from and black from not being able to sleep at all, he's just kept up by these nightmares as he heads into a very old version of Fogwell, and he looks around for a moment like he's going to try and find his wife and the child, but then something stops him, and he slumps into this super rundown bar called the Clown Car. We've never been there, and he sort of starts taking a drink and sort of tapping this journal that he's written spells in. And sort of the bartender's like, so, anything I can get you, bud? And this man's just sort of like, no, I need, do you know of any places, anything odd? I need to find a secluded place. That's what I can stop this. And he's like, and the man's just sort of like, well, besides, old stories about, the woods are a little weird, but I know there's an island off the coast a little bit. If you want to head there, there's old wise tale that they say that any sailors who go by there go mad from some dark force. They say it's a boundary between here and the afterlife. So you might not want to. I don't know. I don't believe in that hooky nonsense. But you can go there if you want. And this man sort of leans, is like, a place between life and death. That's good. Can I rent a boat anywhere? Oh yeah, there's like an old family of captains and sailors. We're a port town, you see. We have boats. It's kind of a popular thing to have in this town. And this man sort of stands up and runs out, and the bartender's like, "Hey, you have to, yeah, okay." He didn't pay, and you see this tired man, in Philip's overalls, but with like a white button-up cloth cotton shirt, stumble through, burst into this store, and rents out a boat, and takes it out into this water and comes off to this island. And he gets there, and he docks his boat on this abandoned island out like several hours off the coast of Fogwell, and he comes to it, and he reaches out, and he's like, okay, this is it. There's some kind of doorway between hell here and the afterlife. These past lives, I think that's what they are, past lives. Maybe I can stop this cycle. Maybe I don't have to die and come back again if I can figure it out. And he reaches out, and he slumps forward. Nothing. It's just a stupid story. There's nothing magical here. Thank God, Jesus. Oh, Christ. Oh, there's nothing that could stop it, is there? As he opens up his book and starts scribbling down a magical circle on the ground. I can figure it out. I don't need some stupid boundary between heaven and hell. I just need to figure it out. I just need to do this. And he carves down his drawing into the dirt, into a dirty part of the island, and grips his teeth and stands up as he holds out his energy into this world. As you see, as he starts doing this, the voices of the past lives of Philip start chanting, as the spirits of the dead start correlating and communing around him, creating this power. And he says to himself, this will be my decree. I will, I am stuck in the clutches of this cycle. I will condemn myself. I will trap my soul in this body so that it never has to go through this never-ending cycle of death and repeating and forcing to save people. I will trap myself in this body. And so says I, Pip Corpus, I will do it. And he says this incantation as these spirits all spin around him. The voices and embodiments of the previous 3 lives zoom into his mind and soul as his eyes start burning with a green fire, as if the world itself is trying to sear and weld his soul to his body. It is excruciatingly painful as he screams out. Instinctively, his body is like, I need to get this pain. Whatever is doing this, I need to get this out. And he starts clawing at his face in pain, trying to get whatever is in his head out. As he's clawing and ripping his face, he screams out. The spell is working in the worst way possible. It's taking the most literal meaning of what he's commanded as this spell of containment. It binds his soul. He rips out his eyes, gushing into flowing tears of blood and mucus of his eyes, and exploding basically from clawing at them as he rips them out. And he falls down to his knees and reaches out and dies. We see again a time lapse. Years passed, 100 years to the cool year of 2007. We see the tide come in and bury this body in the sand, and as we reach 100 years from the moment of his death, we see a green glow emit from under the sand, as rising from it is this decayed body of Pip Corpus, even though it's been 100 years, it's almost as if the spell itself has slowed the decaying process considerably. His skin blue and cold, his face still, now completely gone, revealing the skeleton beneath. His eyes blink open and shine with a green light as he leaps up and he looks around. I die. It didn't work. I'm still here. Oh God. And he slumps forward in a sort of stasis, as again he just sits in this place on top of the sand of this beach as several more years passed, and at a certain point the sand around him starts moving and lifting up and catches him in its tornado as a crazy spellcaster in Memphis, Tennessee, is summoning all sand in the world to his location. This whirlwind picks up Philip as it takes him across, and just as he reaches the coast of Fogwell, where he was a scant 10 years later, he is able to fall out and fall into the town, and we see him sort of hang out in the woods. As his mind is broken, we see him sort of looking around and sees like a poster saying Fogwell, and he's like, Fogwell. Why is it Fogwell? Something about Fogwell. I need to as the voices again scream, save them, save them, save them. You can do it, you save them. This is it. This is the big one. You have to do it. You have to save them. And he's sort of like, I don't even Pip, pipe, Pierre, Philip. Who am I? Philip. As he gets up and he takes a step, and his legs that have sort of atrophied from hundreds of years being buried beneath sand sort of crumples a bit, and then he stumbles, and before he falls he just starts floating, and he looks up. I need to find someone. Please help me. Please help me. As he floats into town, and we know the rest.
The vision fades back to the astral plane, and we watch the final silhouette rip itself from Philip and stand right in front of him, facing him. And the similarities are eerie. Chris, would you like to describe how what the silhouette looks like in this space?
Yeah, I think it is a little odd because it is sort of like it's as if it is separate from itself, but every now and then it glitches in between Philip and itself, because it is very much just exactly like Philip, as if he had a face, and the features are very similar to that of the original Philippus Copit, but just a lot sadder, a lot paler, and a lot more tired. As this being who sort of took the magic that Piper gave them to a whole different level by incorporating just knowledge of these past lives, and sort of fully understood what. And so there is sort of like an aura of magic around them, as sort of like the midway point between Piper being more of like a wizard and Philip being more of like a sorcerer. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like this weird culmination of this innate but also cultivated ability and understanding of the afterlife, and so he is sort of like this weird sort of like jumping in between Philip and itself.
The specter kind of shifts and moves over so that all the silhouettes somewhat kind of like, move side to side, or like are all standing beside Philip essentially. And as the six of you look onto Miss Merrill,
or five.
Well, it's five and then you, right? So it's
no, four and then me.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. Four and then you.
No, there is a sixth.
We're revealing the sixth,
Yeah,
the sixth Philip.
The as the five of you look on at Miss Merrill and Atticus Campbell, we transition back out to Cole. Hello, my friend.
Hello, been a while.
Been a while. You have car keys and access to a car. Do you want to expedite by saying what you have done with said car?
I have a question first.
Yes. I have an answer.
It's not really your question. It's actually a question directed to Masha.
Oh.
Did y'all respond to Cole?
Like text him back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. Because otherwise he's going to the ranger station alone.
I thought Mars
No, I
established it in
think
chat.
while
Arthur
we're
sent a
driving,
frowny face.
definitely.
Yeah.
Take the phone, text Cole back.
Cool. What do you tell Cole?
Yes. What do you tell Cole?
Oh, he doesn't know, does he?
Nope.
Yikes.
He knows there was a boom.
Correct. He also, or well, I mean, we'll say for the sake of it that you've established that this is Fig using Arthur's phone.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah,
you grab
yeah.
your mom's phone and you're like, Dad, this is me.
Yeah. I think I would text. This is Fig. We left the ranger station to go to Miss Merrill's. Any and all backup helpful. Tippity tappity. Tippity tappity. That's just Masha. That's not in it.
Okay, then Cole will be going to the meetup.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. We'll go ahead and say that you definitely get there first. You're in a vehicle, and at this point, but even the earthquake hit you while you were driving, but you weren't like on a rocky road, on a rocky trail like Sheriff Lester was, so you were able to kind of like correct yourself, and there weren't many cars on the road anyhow, so you do make it there before they do. We'll go ahead and say that Fig, you, Arthur, and Sheriff Lester, or I think I'll say Sheriff Lester went with y'all as well.
Oh, he's driving.
Well, yeah, but when he was in the earthquake, the car ran into the road and the wheel got stuck, so he had to go the rest of the way on foot. And so we'll say that y'all on foot have like made it. Cole, you get there first before they do. There's maybe like a good 10 minutes before they arrive. You arrive and you see the antique shop in ruins, just rubble, just like crashed down. All there's certain beams and structural things that are still semi-standing, but for the most part it is a pile of bricks. You do see that some of it has been lifted and shifted off into the alley, but it is still just a giant mess.
Okay, cool. I'm going to save us time. And I'm going to say that during this time, I will spend my other hold to ask what happened here, just so we can say that Cole has surmised that a bomb went off and they were digging for someone who got caught in it. So that way, game mechanically speaking, we don't have to have Cole react when Fig is like, "Oh yeah, there was a bomb that blew up and it was crazy."
That is fair.
And that sort of thing.
I will also say, you drove from the high school and you have now done this investigation. I'm going to ask you to take another point of harm.
Okay, sounds good. Yep.
Unstable, and some time has passed. How much harm are you at right now?
I am 2 away from dying.
Okay. Cool. Love that.
So 5. I'm at 5 harm.
So you watch as it's one of those things where like, while you were investigating, by the time that you got out of the alleyway, Fig, Arthur, and Sheriff Lester were able to essentially kind of like turn the corner onto the square, and you see them coming your way, and you can see Arthur's still bandaged up from from Philip burning him, but
Fig is also now bandaged up as well. As you watch her
Fine,
kind of
don't
like
worry about
wincing slightly as they all kind of like slow their jog and reunite with you in front of the antique shop.
I think that when they show up, Cole is kind of sitting limply on the ground, holding his ribs, and just kind of like his head is kind of like slumped over, and he's breathing, but he doesn't exactly get up to greet them.
Arthur immediately kind of like shuffles over to the side and kind of like peeks at you and
Oh, hey,
grimaces.
guys. Didn't he show up? I mean, Cole's got bruises all over,
Yeah.
got bruises on his face and blood stain like where it's dripped down his nose and things like that.
Arthur shakes his head and just kind of like, Jesus, you're looking really rough, Cole. I can try and help you a little bit. It's not going to be much, though.
It's fine. I'm fine. What do you mean? I feel great. And he coughs up blood on the side.
Literally. That's funny. Fig said the same thing. And I think Arthur's just going to go ahead and work on Cole. And I'll say, same thing with Fig. Cole, you heal 1 point of harm. And you are stabilized, but again, because you are past 3, I'm sorry, if you take another point of harm, you will dip back into unstable.
Going unstable. Yeah,
But
makes sense.
we'll go ahead and have Arthur kind of working on Cole in this time while y'all are role-playing between the two of you. And Sheriff Lester, if you so choose.
I missed what my options were because my internet decided to be bad again.
No, it's okay. So basically, Arthur is currently fixing up Cole for the sake of stabilizing him and healing the 1 harm. Same thing that happened with Fig. And so if you would like to roleplay with Cole and or Sheriff Lester during this time,
Got it.
you can do that. Cole is covered in bruises, which he was not when he was in the alleyway with you.
You just reminded Chris that happened.
Correct.
I saw the look on his face. Like, wait.
I totally forgot about our little doppelganger.
Oh. So a bomb went off, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. I got taken to the school and had a run in with Jamie Foster.
Well, that's not ideal. Seems like we're all a little bit worse for wear, but it was Ren that was caught in it.
I think Cole kind of goes quiet, and I think he's quiet for like an extended moment before slowly nodding and then just muttering under his breath, "I should have been there."
I mean, I was there and I couldn't stop it, and they might still be alive under this pile of rubble, but I sure as hell don't have the strength to get them out. Not in this state.
Arthur's hands have been trembling as soon as she mentioned Ren. And I think it's at this point that, as the two of you contemplate, like, what this could mean, you hear the sounds of several vehicles turning the corner on the square. And coming about, 200 feet away from you, coming from the other end of the square, heading towards the direction that Fig, Arthur, and Sheriff Lester just came from. You see the Beckham truck, followed by 6, 7, 8 vehicles behind it, all heading in the direction of the forest. And they are approaching at a pretty fast speed.
Can we hide behind some rubble to not be seen?
If you would like to try, absolutely.
I don't want to be caught because they want us. So
I'll say let's go ahead and roll act under pressure for Fig and Cole.
Cool.
Or,
oh,
I'm
good,
sorry,
rolling
Cole,
dice.
Cole, are you attempting to hide as well?
I mean, yeah, probably a good idea, especially if Fig is, but
Fair enough.
I somehow don't think that this is due to a monster phenomenon or mystical effect.
That's correct.
Good face, Masha. Good face. I like your face.
Why are you both making that face?
I help from beyond.
Well, your help means nothing to me. I rolled a 3 and a 1, and my cool is -1, so I got 3 total.
Oh my god, I got a 6 total with my +1.
All right, y'all, go ahead and roll, like, mark experience. Just go ahead and do that for sure. Damn. Okay.
TPK. TPK.
It's that one meme from Umbrella Academy where Ren's coming back from the dead and everyone else is heading towards the afterlife, and they're like looking through the window. They're like, what? This is.
I need to
great.
finish that series.
Okay, so I think what happens is the cars are driving. How exactly were y'all attempting to hide? I think that's a good follow-up question in general. You said in the rubble. Was it like?
Yeah, there's just, there's a bunch of rubble, and I was gonna hide in it.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. So everyone had essentially like made their way into the debris of the antique shop in general. And like I mentioned in this most recent description, there were like certain structural beams that were still up in general because they're like either lodged by the debris or they were really well set or things of that nature. They're definitely not in the best of condition, but there are still some pieces that were standing, while others have been kind of like essentially demolished. And I think what happens is y'all scramble in, and you can hear the cars coming closer and closer, and the two of you lean up against some of these standing beams, and you keep going as the standing beams and pieces of debris suddenly begin to fall as well, and they crash out into the middle of the street, directly in front of the caravan. And so you hear all these like skids and like these screeching of brakes, as they all stop in front of this mass of brick and steel and just dust and rock and things of that nature that's been pushed out in front of them. And you do hear some cars like do collide into one another, and like they're not in like a terrible accident kind of way, but they braked at a good amount of time. They were just too close together, so there were some fender benders and things of that nature. And
Whoops.
You all look up and you see that Jamie Foster looks at the debris in front of him and then looks over at the store and sees the two of you, or all of you essentially, standing in the direct shadow of where these beams had fallen. And it's at that moment that we get a Chris, can you hit me with another one of those earthquake? Thank you.
Cool, very good.
You all watch as the debris shakes on the street. Whatever's left over in the antique shop kind of like rains down on the two of you. Several people jump out of their cars in fear of of something happening while they're in them. As this shakes, we jump back up to the fog well. This specific earthquake is just so much stronger that it does shake the actual bodies that are astral projecting on the floor. And so, Philip, the gray astral plane like somewhat kind of like shifts a little bit, and you kind of like your projections do not dissipate, but you return to your body. Miss Merrill returns to her body. Atticus Campbell, who I'm now remembering in this moment was in his human form, returns to his raccoon body. I
thought you meant like his actual.
Incredible.
He gets up from his raccoon body and puts a hand on my shoulder. I was like, okay.
No, I'm gonna say in that moment he went to touch you, and his hand was just a raccoon hand because he's having a conflict of identity. And
Was I?
My boy.
Oh no! Was I always a raccoon?
are these my people now?
Oh no, he's avatared.
Will I lead them to a bright new future?
Oh no, this is a horrible white savior complex. I need to get out of here.
James Cameron's call us, baby, we got it. So you all return back to your bodies, but your specters do not. Like they're still there, and like the astral plane kind of like dissipates a little bit, so that you return back to just like the spans of the fog well itself, and you do see that the captain is like pounding at the boundary and attempting to get Miss Merrill's attention. You see she kind of like Miss Merrill kind of like cocks her head to the side, listening, and she turns to Atticus and she says, "Is the captain calling for me?" Like, "Yes, but I can't hear him at all." And she just kind of like takes her cane and just kind of like washes away the dissipation, and you see the dome fall, right? It's at this point that like the final kind of like after tremors and shocks and things of that nature are finally dying down. Whatever this dome was doing a very good job of just blocking sound, energy, whatever it was, from all around. And it's in this moment that as you are exposed to the flow of time outside of this dome, Philip, you become painfully aware of the fact that Ren is dead.
Oh no! I think Philip, when he enters his body again, he's still sort of reeling from the pain of like re-witnessing all his trauma just in order to get a quick screenshot of his notebook, and I think he's just sort of he's like reeling his head, and then he instantly, as he connects back to the outside world and sort of the land of the more general land of the dead, he looks up. It's just sort of like, oh no, something's gone wrong.
You say this, and like having just gone through all these memories of your past lives, like things like this shock is just kind of beginning to blend things together in a very strange way. And you look at your specters, right? And they begin to look like your friends. You look at Philippus and him in his flowing hair and his toga and his gladius, and you, for a moment, it looks like he's like Arthur with his sword at his side. You look at Dr. Pierce and you see the red hair, the green eyes, the beard, and for a moment it shifts and suddenly it's Cole before returning back to Dr. Pierce. And then you look at Piper and you see her calm nature, her strong demeanor, this drive to help others, this sense of community that she had before everything went terribly wrong. And Fig appears in her place. And then you get to Pip. and Pip stares at you, and Pip's very close to you, in general. But in the way that their life was overtaken by forces greater than they could understand, you watch Pip transition out for Ren. But there's a very hard transition there, and it's very quick and very fast, but you can still see it, and you know that there is a chance to get to Ren if you can get there.
Philip stumbles up, still I do sort of feel like Philip's vision is just constantly switching between all these memories around him. Like one moment he's looking and he's in Pompeii, and then he's on a dirty street, and then he's in an old village town. And then he sort of focuses in, and he's just like, as he stumbles forward to the fog well. In the past, I was able to use the fog well to appear in a random fridge. I would like to see if diving into the fog well gets me where I need to go.
I love that idea, Chris. And what I'm going to say is, as you begin to approach the fog well, and you want to kind of dive in, the captain rolls up, and he slams the anchor in front of you, and he tells you, "This time, Philip, we do it my way."
Okay, magic man.
And he will guide you to jump onto the anchor, onto one of the swinging edges, and he will grab it, kind of heft it, and he will jump into the fog well with you in tow, latched onto the anchor, as the two of you plunge into the cold waters and begin to sink deeper. We're gonna transition back. Cole, Fig, the two of you see Jamie Foster unsling the rifle off his back, and cock it and level it in your direction, and he's going to say, "This ends now."
Cole flips him off.
Jamie raises the rifle, and a bang shoots and echoes across the square. We're going to transition back to Philip.
Oh my god.
Philip, you are falling in darkness, and it's cold. And you can it's the feeling of extraordinarily rushing past you as you are latched onto this extraordinarily this extraordinarily heavy anchor, right? And it's if you were attached to it, or if you were tied to it, it's the feeling of just diving deep into water. And the pool itself, or the well outside, was max 10 feet in diameter and things of that nature. But as you plunge deeper into these waters, they feel vast, and they expand a very long way. And you hear that sound again that you heard the very first time you approached the fog well, which was this echoing, almost like whale song, but reverberating so deep that it's just in your bones, And here in the darkness, this is its home. This is where, this is where you understand this power, the fog, whatever it is. It all stems from whatever this place is, whatever this thing is. And you feel a tug on your arm as you look over at the captain, and the captain is mimicking you letting go. What do you do?
I think Philip leans in first to the captain, staring into his eyes, and says, "I have to save someone." And he pushes himself away into the darkness.
Excellent. This tiny dot of green light, which is you, flies off into the vast expanse of this darkness. A small beacon within this vast realm. And you find yourself drifting for a bit of time before the sound comes back even stronger. It like shakes your body, and you watch as the space around you lights up in this very kind of like you've seen the red of the seethe. This is something different. This is a different kind of bioluminescence, as you see these long tendrils wrap around you. And I don't know if you've ever seen a phantom jellyfish, but imagine something like that scaled up to 100, like 100 times. Just like it's even hard to conceive to just think about how large it is. But your tiny green flame becomes wrapped into this like these tendrils, and you become this like vortex of red and green, and everything goes white. So several things happen at once at this point in time, and this is the order in which they happen. The gun goes off, the rifle goes off, the blast begins to echo, and the bullet exits the chamber. Ren and Philip, the two of you appear in the debris, whole in sound, and you see time passing and bullet time, no pun intended, as this bullet races across the air towards Cole in front of you. The bullet hits, not Cole. You watch as he is pushed to the side, as Boromir Stevens comes out of the woodwork and pushes him to the side, as the bullet collides into his chest, and he is knocked backwards 3 feet into the stone and rubble. The smoke from the gun dissipates, and you all watch Boromir staring up at the sky, coughing up blood as this well begins to pool over his chest and onto the stones of Miss Merrill's antique shop. And Chris, I'm gonna need you to hit me with that earthquake sound one more time, friend. He collides down, the earth begins to shake, and it doesn't stop. It goes harder and stronger until all of you are brought down to one knee. And then you hear it. It's like a crack of thunder in the distance. And you all know. So you turn and you look at the mountain. You look at Mount Ira. And you see giant cracks of red just racing up the sides of this mountain faster and faster, and the ground begins to shake even stronger. And before you can collectively breathe, the mountain erupts, the world goes red, and that's where we're going to end this session and pick back up in the finale.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, though? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, hold on. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
What do you mean by that, though? What do you mean by that? I don't think you're true. I think we have another, 30 minutes, actually, where I save the day, actually.
We were just talking about the how much time these sessions have been running so far. I think we made good time.
Yeah, no, this is like perfect timing. Because that is absolutely where it's ending.
Absolutely.
Because I may have asked Saul to end the world before my session. So let's...
Oh, good.
You asked him to make us lose before we even have a chance to try and stop it in the finale. That's fun.
I believe narratively we call this the darkest hour.
Interesting.
I believe
How
narratively we call it being fucked.
We're surrounded by a bunch of angry white men with guns who are about to get even angrier.
Whew.
Yay!
We did it! Woo!
Woo!
Right. And what's cool is that chat, you get to wait even longer than normal to see what happens next.
That is
Yes,
correct.
that is true.
We are for sure going to be taking next week off because it is my 2-year anniversary with my lovely wife.
Yay.
But we will keep you updated on when we will be returning for the finale as time progresses onward. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you enjoyed this mystery. There was a wonderful energy knowing where this was going to go and remembering that, like, actually, I don't gotta tie up anything with a nice bow because that just makes it a whole lot more fun.
You're the worst.
That just means I get to torture you with things too.
You are correct. Absolutely, you are correct. This was a lot of fun. Y'all are fantastic. Do we want to do end of session questions?
I guess.
I guess.
Yeah,
I think this might be the
absolutely.
last session where we can't say we solved the mystery.
Correct. Sorry, I'm really sorry, Michael Sands. There really wasn't a mystery to solve. I just needed to get them to a specific part. Sorry,
I just really like. I'm sorry, Michael Sands. Like apologizing to Michael
Yeah,
Sands personally is.
I'm gonna
extremely
call Michael
crazy.
Sands and tell on you.
No. Okay, so first question:
rules.
did we conclude the current mystery?
No.
Yeah, we've
No.
we learned
didn't.
that Rin's alive.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
solved the Ren is dead mystery and the Philip backstory mystery, and that's pretty much it.
Did we save someone from certain death or worse?
Boromir did. None of us did.
That is-
True.
That is true.
Yep.
Pretty much my whole thing was about my inability to save people, so that was all cool.
Did we learn something new and important about the world?
I mean, sure, I guess a little bit.
The mountain exploded.
Correct.
Yeah, mountain go boom.
Like we're kind of a little bit learned something. Yes.
Did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters? Boy, I hope
think
so.
No. All part
No.
of the course. Actually, Cole's shoe size is 9.5. Now we've learned something important.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
tiny.
That,
Yeah.
that is
Actually
what we
important.
learned about the
He's
hunters.
that small. I don't know
he's-
what's large.
That's
and
tiny.
what's not.
Well, I
He's-
say that as a
he's-
size 14 and a half.
Well, Cole is short, so like it makes sense for him to have smaller feet.
Perfect. We're gonna go ahead and say.
That's one.
Well, I guess we could maybe count Cole taking out that worm from that guy, saving them from a fate worse than death.
Well, that's
Oh.
fair.
Sure.
So, yeah, we'll go. We'll say 3. You can mark 2 points of experience.
I leveled up. Cole's final
Very
level up of the
good.
season.
Very good. I need to figure out what's up with Arthur in general. But cool, very fun. Thank you for indulging me, players. I appreciate your patience and your role play. And same to you, audience. I hope that you enjoyed it. For those of you who are watching the VOD, I hope you enjoyed it. Same as those who came to watch it live with us. And I hope that you're excited to see what happens in the finale, because I've been sitting on
and
this
if
for
you
like
are
about
in
a month.
chat,
And it's
wait. If you are in chat and want to check out the stream, you can check out the stream with our new nifty command stream. So check us out on stream. Chat, go check us out.
Go ahead and click that. Go ahead.
Go click that. It'll take you to the stream.
mm-hmm.
Thanks for stopping by the stream. If you want to check out the stream, click that link to check out the stream.
All right. Chris is stuck in a loop. Let's.
Yes. Okay. Good stuff. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. We appreciate you a lot. Please
appreciate
be
you.
kind. Please be kind to yourselves. Make sure to unclench your jaw, stretch, drink some water. Please take care of yourselves. We love you very much, and we appreciate you very much, and we hope that you have a great night. And we are very, very excited to see you soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
I'll see you later. Hope you had a good time.
I know what I did.